She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on
Levi. That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi, born Gallagher. Social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of a Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim used to say, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across someone's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short-distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
Call on Dolly. She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Mrs. Levi!
Mr. Camper, the artist. You know I'm something of an artist myself. I do these silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here's one of Ada Rahan looking the other way. I have to do them that way because I am no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers is in 5 minutes, and if we don't make it on
But
time...
we will, Mr. Camper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always used to say, marriage is a bribe. To make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
Mrs. Levi, I know all about it. He's half to New York because he's going to propose to Miss Ira Moy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll throw, I'll see. And well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with, only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I think I have some change here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Miss Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Tell me, Miss Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profits it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there. And a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give her beau a little boost. So I put my hand in here, I I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. So I put my hand in here. I twist a little, stir a little, him a little, her a little, shape a little, mold a little. Some poor chap gets sold a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand in there.
Mrs. Levi?
I know, Mr. Kemper. The Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy our tickets, order lunch, get a window seat, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim, tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign sometime today. Now, don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden get the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. My, he says she's so attractive. Then I move my index digit and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
To play golf with my golfers with all that bellowing in my ear.
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I say you're too young to be in love. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I will cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in front of the storm.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then by thunder, you'll go to New York and weep for a while where you won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and pack your trunk. And don't get any tears in the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius, Barnaby.
You stamped, Mr. Vandergelder?
Yes, I did. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Well, not yours, hell and damnation mine. But what I mean is, I'm getting married again. And in honor of the occasion, Cornelius, I'm promoting you to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
Why, you're an impertinent fool. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
Oh, so that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir. You will attend in the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evening's off. marrying are just foolishness. Well, I say that 99% of the population are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. William and I was young once, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which by far is the most foolish thing of all. Oh, but then my wife died, which was foolish of her. I grew older, which was very sinful of me, and grew rich, friendless, and weak, which in Yonkers is about as far as a man can go. So you're probably wondering why a man with as much sense as I have would ever consider something as absolutely foolish as getting married again. Well, it's just that this house without a woman is an empty shack, and pretty dirty too. It takes a woman, a house and me, to joyously clean out the grave in the sea, and it takes an angel with long golden lashes and some dressed in fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
And it takes a female for setting the table and feeding the curtains and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for
Congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Van de Gelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. Well, by that I mean you know what people say. Although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Well, rumors? What rumors?
Oh, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Van de Gelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoons of chowder she made special for him and poofed. Oh, but there's no truth in it. It could happen to anyone. Just one word of advice, Mr. Van de Gelder. Eat out.
Well, now hold on, Mrs. Malloy. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy?
Oh, I mean to say nothing, Mr. Van de Gelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. Oh, by the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Beautiful. You should see it. Black. Oh, well, as congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Well, now, Mrs. Levi, you introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I still intend on calling on her this very afternoon, as arranged.
Very well, then. There's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Well, particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Well, her name.
Her name? Her name? Oh, it's Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely name.
Picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big and round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
Well, I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now I could arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
Well, I ain't got time. Have to take my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets certain Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I can do that for you. I know just how to handle such things.
Well, then I'll be marching in the 14th Street Parade.
Why, what an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float, the spirit of 14th Street? Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
Well, then, I guess I'll see Miss Money at the float at the end of the parade. But I still intend on calling on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear, what races you make me run. Very well, then, Mr. Vandergelder. I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30, as usual.
Oh, one more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I don't like Mrs. Malloy or that other girl either.
Well, then, I happen to have one more name on my list, a name I know as well as my own. But let's not go into that now. It'll come up by itself, all in good time. Don't you worry about that. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman a heart and hate to joyously clean out the drain in the sink, and it takes an angel with love and passion and something to for something,
Yes, it takes a woman. Done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, come on out here. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. I get promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll get promoted to chief clerk again. I'm 33 years old and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what we did last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and exploded, and we cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, you can't.
We'll have to. Some more canned tomatoes are going to explode.
Holy cabooses. How do you know?
I'm going to light this candle under them, that's how I know. They'll make such a smell, customers won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to get a good meal, we're going to be in danger, we're going to spend our money, we're going to get arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing, we're not coming back to Yonkers till we've each kissed a girl.
Oh, Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. You gotta begin sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know, I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Miss Levi. I paint.
Well, then, my card.
Miss Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance.
Now, there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the on 14th Street at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant. Now, I'll give you a note for him, and we'll see if he can't have you both entered in the polka contest tonight. The first prize is a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, hold on a minute, Miss Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying I'm surprised you even have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life, and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Miss Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandergelder we mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back and that I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Not too close, they're swelled like they're ready to bust. Holy cabooses, Cornelius. I can smell it up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the police and times to go. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girl in white, not working night, without a light to light the road. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride to town. And one of those with horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the show now, Bonnie, love us, and we won't come home until we kiss the girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture done. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about.
That Sunday shine is all certain sign that you feel as fine as you love.
Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your hat and leather, your beads and buckles and bows. Polish love one day in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York.
Well, Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard.
Still, there's no really big odds. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dear old my, would you look at that? 10 o'clock and the shop not open yet. Because of the pretty hair. How much of you? Why, there is Dolly is arranged to be Horace Andrew.
Well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he never will take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy, or he rest in peace. Wherever he is, I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much, what with late husbands and impending marriages. And to top it all off, Miss Mortimer returning this hat for the 3rd time. Same old story, more cherries and feathers she wants. Cherries and feathers. To catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice heavy veil. I told her ribbons down our back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants. And on today of all days, when that poor dear sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind, what with...
With what, Minnie?
With the door. It's stuck.
It's stuck, then push.
As I was saying, Miss Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm going to say, but as long as I've started, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why?
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
Miss Malloy, I didn't ask you that. Why, I would rather die in the wreck than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it out.
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Malloy!
And I could no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Miss Malloy!
Now, don't protest, Minnie. All millionairesses are suspected of being wicked women. Why, that's why we can't go into balls or restaurants or theaters. That's all the proof they'd need. Now, take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder, or I break out of here like a fireman. Oh, no. Not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, you leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you'd like. I'm going to wear this one myself.
Miss Malloy, why, you can't wear that hat. Well, you're a widow, and that hat, well, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today. And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Miss Malloy! Oh.
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. Blue and green and
this summer he might notice me passing by, and so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice
Mrs. Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question I'm going to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, I don't, Minnie. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love. And I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman, as long as it's true love. And it was that. Minnie, look! There are two men staring at the shop! Men? Why, I do believe they mean to come in here. Men? In the hat shop? Whatever shall we do? Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the blonde one.
Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love.
Oh, love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do it now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Well, now, you go back into the workroom. I know some ways we can improve our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vamp, I'll scream.
Vamp! Ah! And so, I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long, we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city and suddenly...
Vandergelder.
Is it still out there? Go look.
He's sitting on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask. When you're in one, you'll know it all right. How much money have you got left?
Not much. 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, 20 cents to see the wind. 90 cents. Why?
And when those women come back, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is to make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything. Now, we're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you,
Well, you see, we're two ladies about town looking for some hats to Malloy.
We're hats, you see. We wanted to buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
We want a hat. For a lady, of course. And everyone said, go to Mrs. Malloy's, because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And And so reasonable. As reasonable as under $1. Would still leave us enough to see the whale.
I'll pay him no mind. He's just come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's pretty excited. Now just keep an eye on that window, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and brown with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting right on that bench.
Excuse me, did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And pardon me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers. By that I mean, perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have liked Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course, not Mr. Malloy, may he rest in peace. Oh, you're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. If you should ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him, although it's usually foolish to ask in cases like that.
Perhaps we do.
It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Oh, Vandergelder's hay and feet?
Why, yes. Do you know him?
No.
Mr. Vandergelder's a substantial man and very well liked, they tell me.
A lovely man, Mrs. Malloy. Just lovely. Has one fault as far as I see it. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Now I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Look out!
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing? Come out of there this minute.
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, either you both come out of there or I'll be forced to... Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi's here, is she? She was supposed to be behind that bench a half an hour ago. Well, I guess you can just find me when she gets here. When I make an appointment, I expect people to be on time. Oh, here. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Were you just talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? What would two men be doing in a lady's hat shop? Well now, let's go back into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
Well, I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Vandergelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He?
A customer, Mr. Vandergelder. Someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here the other day buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you know him, although it's usually foolish to ask in cases like that. It's a Mr. Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Yes.
Well, he happens to be my chief clerk. Well, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why, shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackle? Why, everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the opera, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Well, that's impossible. He only has $146.35. And I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The earmark. Both.
Well, it ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lind's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up like a waiter at the 5th Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster right down Mrs. Astor's... Oh, I can't say it, but it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Oh, really? I've only met him once in my life. Now, really, Dolly, I don't know him.
Excuse me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Hold your tongue, Minnie. Hold your tongue, Minnie.
Now, if there's a man in that closet...
No, Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
Well, no man who hides in ladies' closets can frighten me, Mrs. Levi. Well, please stand aside.
No man, indeed. Why, I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them now rippling back and forth underneath your coat. Ripple, 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 back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
Now, Mrs. Levi, for the last time, please stand aside.
Stand, indeed. That is exactly what the court will want to know when you're accused of entering this closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him as he's singing the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here as an immigrant girl at 14 years of age, from a land that oppressed my people, and I must echo here what was said by that great and patriotic American,
Moses.
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for America and a hot lunch for orphans. I regret that I would like to give Betsy Ross country. Do you see him Lincoln?
What if my land is turned by sea? Yes, Dad, I took that tree down. Oh, Stonewall Jackson, show me how that feels.
And then march, march. 7 years ago. March, march.
To form a more perfect union.
March, march.
Down the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
March, march, march.
So you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet.
That's it.
God bless you.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
All right, there is a man in that cupboard,
Aha.
and another under that table.
Well, what the devil?
And there also happens to be a very simple explanation. But for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I think I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will. On the float at the end of the parade with a certain young lady. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything. You see,
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop immediately, or I call for Officer Gogarty.
If you ask me, Irene, calling an officer's letting them off too easy. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, we've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishee. Now, the main thing is to show that you've tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
dinner?
Is that really necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first and garnishee afterwards.
Well, if it must be. Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a very nice restaurant in the railway station.
Oh, no! If the Harmonia Gardens restaurant is good enough for your fashionable friends, well, it's good enough for us.
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy. We couldn't go there. It's not the money or anything. It's just the...
It's the whale.
It's the whale. No, it's not the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing in a place like that. Exhibitions, even contests. And I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerks taught how to dance.
Now, it's very simple. You put one arm here and one arm here.
It's no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm. Happens to be one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Now, if you'll just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Now, it's simple. Right foot touch, left foot touch, under, back, round, touch, back, under, around, behind, out, through, release, unfurl. Lovely. When I think of all the wonderful women who will find heaven in your arms. Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist. with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. Well, I was.
Of course you are, Mr. Hacker. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing.
Turn around, say floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, where will I ever stop? Look at me, everybody, hi. Put me in the tackle. I'm dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step and then step and glide.
And everyone, stand aside.
He's dancing.
You can learn to polka if you worked a week or so, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the congregation.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing. Heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry. As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? Mrs. Rose?
The same. Aches in my back, pains in my side, and stabs in my liver. I'm fine. My daughter Fanny got married, you know?
Did she?
A year ago, last September. It's been a long time since you lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Let me go, Ephraim. It's been long enough. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy. And before I went to bed, I said a prayer thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. Then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without life and without color. And I suddenly realized that I was like that leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so, I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by.
Dolly. Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life. With the rest of them, with the best of them, I can hold my head up high. For I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again, I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again. Before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony throwing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, for I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton, before the parade passes by.
Listen and hear that brass harmony growing before the parade passes by. Let me hear my old
more. Well, hold on, Miss Money, I'm coming. Well, hey, you, who put that back? Well, stop thief. That's my fiancée. Well, I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Mrs. Levi, this is your doing.
Nothing to get upset about, Horace. A last-minute substitution, that's all. Miss Money had a sudden, urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short and she's helping out. But she'll meet you at 8 o'clock tonight at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant.
Well, that's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And, well, it should be. What food? And the fastest waiters in New York. Oh, by the way, I might be a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Oh, but wait till you see her, Horace. All in baby yellow and baby pink shoes. And humming an old-fashioned love song. Yes, Sweet Rosie O'Grady. Oh, you couldn't miss her if you tried.
Well, I'll be there, Dolly. But only because I already paid for the introduction, I might as well get my money's worth. So from this point on, you're hereby dismissed as my marriage broker. Do you understand? You are now an ordinary woman like everybody else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. For I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
Loved looking at the lights of 14th Street these past 4 hours. But now perhaps you better call a hack or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, look, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy. We couldn't do that. It's not the money or anything. It's just, well, hacks is out. Nowadays, really elegant people never go by hack. They all go by a streetcar.
J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Well, then by all means, a streetcar.
Imagine, I've been elegant all my life and never even knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it on.
All who are well-bred agree Minnie Bay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest whims tonight. We are out with diamond gins tonight.
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We've got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it on. Middle class, don't speak of its savoir-faire. We reek of it, some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches and
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us.
we got elegance, we want one with elegance.
Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
And the way I keep my pinky up and down the tablet proves that
We've got elegance, we got built in elegance and with elegance. We'll carry it on. We got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it on. We got elegance.
we got elegance. Oh, look, Minnie, they're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Of course. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy?
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
Mrs. Malloy, as we start inside, may I...
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
May I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
I trust your findings this table satisfactory, sir? The private dining rooms cost a bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius. That's all that's left.
Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count it once more.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
What, who do you think we are? Only it's Horace Vandergelder and party. She's in my party, I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandergelder, of course. But, Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about you bringing your...
Well, my personal physician. That's enough rouge, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Oh, chickens are dear.
Un pâté masion, soup du jour, un pomme soufflé.
Well, why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out of here. Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my garter.
Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Well, I couldn't order anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones, what a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread? Now I see how you keep having New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever had pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why'd you close the curtains? Are you ashamed or something?
No, not at all. I just felt a slight chill.
Well, why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now, let's order something to hold us over till the rice comes. Waiter, bring us a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some lady fingers. Now, what do you have? After the show.
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestions, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. Waiter, we'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute. No wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne?
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream. And night house peaches. And Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance.
The Vanderbilts are not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
Well, then I'll dance by myself. Give him $2 for the band leader, will you? And tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band. But promise you won't order anything else?
You wait here, Miss Money. Well, I'll go tell them to play a nice waltz. Here, you. Give this to the band leader and tell them to play a nice waltz. Off the table, you're going to knock over the stew.
Excuse me, but that's my wallet. I know it's mine because there's nothing in it but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and Cornelius! Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? 3, 4 pheasants for the house. And never mind if we don't see the whale, I'll buy one of my own.
Sir, what's this? Shouting? How many times have I told you not to shout, boy? This is the Harmonia Gardens restaurant.
But sir, she's here. The lady.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock, up pulls this carriage. And out steps this beautiful lady with blonde hair and the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It is she, Mrs. Levi. Hold up. Is it true? I heard someone laughing outside the kitchen window and it sounded like... It is. It's Dolly. She's back. The Prince, tell the band she just stepped out of the carriage. Rudolph, is it true, no? It is true, yeah. She just stepped out of a waiting gold carriage pulled by 6 black horses started blue. Ah, Rudolph, it's like old times again.
Sir, Sir! Sir! Rudy! Well, she's here.
Hello, Harry. Well, hello, Louie. It's so nice to
Dolly Gallagher. What are you doing in that get-up? You're a half an hour late, and I demand an explanation.
Ernestina!
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. Now, don't let's say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you want? A chicken. Now, about that hoochie-coochie, girl.
Did you say a chicken? Oh, I don't think I can face a chicken. Not today, not after what's happened.
Good. Then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, darling. You always have to know everything. Always keep your nose in other people's business. Why anybody married you would be as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said that anybody married you.
Horace Vandergelder, get that idea right out of your head this minute. I'm surprised that you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
Well, I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. Why the idea of you even suggesting such a thing?
You misunderstood.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. However, we won't discuss it anymore. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vandergelder, Rudolph. Oh, here's some white meat for you. And some dumplings, so lighter than air they are. And some giblets, very tender and very good for you. No, as I said before, you go your way, I'll go mine. Start riding on the wine, I think you'll feel better at once. However, since you brought the matter up, there's one more thing I am going to say.
Well, I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I am going to say before we forget all about it. It's true, I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
Well, it's not out of control.
Very well, let's not say another word about it. Some beets, Horace, they're good.
Well, I don't like beets.
That's nice. The pity of it is, you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
Well, I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down, Horace, and let's talk of something else. But before we change the subject, there is one more thing I am going to say. Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets. Well, I hate beets.
That's good. Now dig right in. Yes, the pity of it is, you could be perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to. Now, let's not say another word about it.
Let's not. I just can't believe you, Dolly. You always bring matters up. I will not marry you. Never.
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age? My age? What are you always talking about my age?
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more giblets? They're good.
I don't want any more giblets. Well, I got a headache. On the way back to my hotel.
Oh, you can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's some money for the dinner. Here's $20. Whoa, wait a minute. Well, there's nothing here but $1, 3.95 pennies in a buck. Where's my purse? Well, I lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found?
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vandergelder. We better get out of here.
What am I going to do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Well, stop eating that. I can't pay for it.
Look, Horace, it's the latest thing of polka. There's that one dancer I particularly want you to see. Just watch his graceful movements.
Wait a minute. Well, that man. That dancer.
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
Mr. Vandergelder.
Parking truck! Mr. Vandergelder! Urban guard!
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
Well, I don't want to hear any explanations, Cornelius. You're fired.
Officer, arrest this man.
All right, you're all under arrest. Arrest them all. All of you.
Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. No, there is no need to call witnesses, ladies and gentlemen. When I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose, I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land. E proboscis unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients, and for a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Mr. Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
No!
The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
A curtain torn, a vein of root with a solid gold cup pen.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something to say.
Well, I was just about to call on you, Mr. Handel. Go right ahead.
You dare testify against me, Cornelius? Well, I'll have you discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
Then I'll do it again.
You've done it again, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. Your Honor, I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting a riot, but I do know what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man. Might never have happened if I'd obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
You mean to say that after 33 years you fall in love because you take one evening off?
Oh no, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening. An hour. Even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
Second?
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved the whole night long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years. And all this time, there were wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy walking around New York, and I didn't know them at all. I don't know if you can all see from where you're sitting. Well, for instance, the way her eye and cheek and forehead all come together up here. Can you? I tell you right now, a fine woman is God's greatest work on earth. Oh, you can talk about the pyramids and Niagara Falls all you like. They're not in it at all. I've seen women before, but today I talked to one equal to equal. And they're so different from men. And they're awfully mysterious, too. I bet you could know a woman for 100 years without ever really being sure whether she liked you or not. Today I've lost so many things, my job, my future, but I don't care. Because even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Excuse me, Mr. Crackle, I think I missed a few words. Right after it only...
All except Horace of Yonkers, New York. You're free, my children. Go and bless you.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It looks like there's only one more thing for me to say.
Well, she asked me to marry you. Never. Not in a million years would I ever marry you.
Oh, no, Horace. That wasn't it at all. All I wanted to say to you was, goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Hold on now.
It's no use, Horace. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But goodbye. 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 should have said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling love. So wave your little hand and whisper, so long, dearie. Dearie should have said so long ago. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on for that happiness express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get south. And on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a-knocking, I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And Dolly, well, I wouldn't marry you if you were the last woman on earth. Not if you asked me a million times. Well, I didn't need you then, and I don't need you now. Well, Dolly Levi, why, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly.
You stamped, Mr. Vandergelder?
Oh, so it's you, is it? Come crawling back, have you?
No, Mr. Vandergelder. I just came back from my $146.35. You see, I'm going into business for myself. And since the only business I know is hay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, right across the street from you.
Oh, so you think you can compete with Vandergelders, do you? Well, just you try. Oh, another one come crawling. What do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
Well, you can't do this to me. Well, I'll get lawyers. Well, I'll go to the courts. Well,
Why, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit. So few men nowadays have the courage to wear fawn yellow and taupe.
Dolly Gallagher.
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl, the ideal wife for you. Oh, but you were doing something, weren't you? Don't let me interrupt you.
We were getting Cornelius' money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me.
$52.48.
Well, 38.
48.
All right, if it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most people in the world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. Yes, we're all fools, and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in the world. and that takes a little money. The difference between having a little money and no money at all is enormous. And the difference between having a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight. But that can also shatter the world. It's all how you spend it. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. At least that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, what are you waiting for? That goes upstairs.
Well, Horace, as I was saying, I found you the ideal wife.
No, Dolly, I don't want you to find me any more ideal wives. Well, if I want to find an ideal wife, well, I'll find one of my own. And I have. And it's you.
Why, Horace?
I know I was a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other girl, but Dolly, forgive me. And marry me.
Stop right there, Horace.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
Why, you're a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, it won't be enough for you to shower your wife with money and jewels, to insist that she be a benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open a store right across the street from you. Better take him back and let him be a partner.
Partner?
That way, Barnaby can have Cornelius' old job.
Now, hold on, Dolly.
Then we'll all be together so we can dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
Well, that does it. Well, I will dance at no weddings. Anyway, I don't know how. Take years, months, weeks to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Why, Horace? I never thought I'd hear you say anything like that.
Well, that's front room, you idiot.
Horace Vandergelder, what is going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I thought it had the front room done over in blue wallpaper. I know the old paper isn't worn out yet, but he's just getting set up in the business and needs a good start. And like I've always said, money, heart and expression, it's a bit like glue. They were the thing, let's just run around with it.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. Why, never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly, life was awfully flat and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at, Horace. Dolly will never go away.
Wonderful woman.